All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event, Status Sports Show. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. This show, of course, is brought to you by Haps News, Haps TV, and Haps Sports. Thank you, Pablo, in the building. Thank you for loving the intro. I appreciate it. I wanted to have something special, because Haps been good to me, so I wanted to make sure we gave this all its credit. What up, Daniel? Daniel Artest of 265 Media in the building. The Ravens pull it off. This game was up and down, emotions. You may be able to tell from my voice that I'm all over the place. I gotta give a special shout out to my older sister Nikki as we closing in. It's her birthday, 9 minutes left. But guess what? We celebrate all year round. Shout out to Kelsey Nicole Nelson on Facebook saying she here for this. What a win for the Ravens flock. It was a tough one. Almost anything that could go wrong went wrong when you think about it. The Ravens sat out there. They Cleveland comes out, boom, they score right away. Here comes the Ravens. They back and forth right away. And I was like, all right, this could be one of those type of games. Then just when it seemed like the Ravens had everything together, and it seemed like the Ravens were like, all right, they got this. They're gonna win this game. It's gonna be a blowout. Nope. Cleveland suddenly comes back, and then Lamar gets cramps. And this is what I be telling people. We cannot underestimate COVID-19. Shout out, I think it was Sham on Twitter. She said it could be effects from COVID-19. We don't know. Everybody might think they know one thing, think it's just respiratory. But there's a lot of physical ailments that go wrong. That's why we say wear your mask. We don't know what's going to happen with players. But Lamar MVP. I mean, you look at it. Shout out to my boy Derek Lewis said, "Who booked this?" Because somebody said, "What's your thoughts on global warming?" Don't have any. Who booked this? Because it was booked like a WWE match. The Ravens were up here, and then I want to look at, somebody's going to do it. They're going to show the win probabilities, and I want to see that list because I know at one point the Ravens had probably a 90% chance of winning. Then the Browns probably had a 20% chance of winning, maybe even a 40% chance. I mean, you think about that fourth down play where all they had to do was get one stop and then get back on the field. Their offense back on the field for the Browns, and then Lamar has an opportunity. He has an opportunity to run the football and pick up the first down, but they said that he's not a quarterback, but he proved everybody wrong as he saw Marquise Brown and hit him with a 44-yard touchdown. And it was key for Marquise because when you go back and look, he had dropped a wide open pass that would have been a first down, that would have allowed the Ravens to possibly maintain control of the game, and he dropped it. He just dropped it. And then, of course, we all know that every time he drops a ball, people are going to bring up, well, you said you a soldier, because of his tweets after the Pittsburgh game. He's not going to live that down for the rest of the year, ladies and gentlemen. He's just not. But nonetheless, he made a big play. Shout out to my boy James Williams. He said, "Get off the field." Then he said, "You know what? You can come back on the field." But shout out to Bobby Green on Facebook says, "I was scared he was going to drop that." I was scared too, but I think things happen so fast. And when I saw Lamar throw, I'm like, "What are you doing? You got the best legs in the NFL. You had a clear path for first down." But that's the reason why he's the quarterback. And most importantly, that is why he's the second quarterback in the history of the National Football League to win the unanimous MVP. I saw a lot of comments on Twitter. Everybody wanted to say, shout out to my boy King Henry living watching it. The real King Henry, not the guy in Tennessee. I saw a lot of people say, you know what? Maybe, just maybe he's overrated. Maybe he was feeling himself. You know something about Lamar Jackson. If you're here in Baltimore, feeling himself is not something he does. Lamar never gives himself the credit. Never. Shout out to my boy Antoine Sumter. He says the safety screwed up someone's money. Cleveland was +3. Yeah. But I was sitting there and I'm like, man, like what's going on? And then you watch the things and it says so tonight, most rushing yards by a quarterback. Monday Night Football history, 124, breaking Russell Wilson streak, boys for 122. I mean, that's what Lamar Jackson does. Oh man, I tell you, This right here, man, just what a game. I usually have a lot of stats and stuff up or some videos. I didn't get a chance. I was just very into it. So you guys are getting raw emotion. And that's the thing I love about Haps. Shout out to Mark Goldman tuning in from Los Angeles. Appreciate you. King Henry says it was a good offensive game. It was. The Ravens fans, you're frustrated. You're frustrated what you saw from the defense today. Mark says epic game. Absolutely. And I know the Pittsburgh Steelers did something they hated doing. That's root for the Ravens. They had to root for the Ravens because with this, they are closer to the division title. We all know. Let's keep it real. The division title only belongs to 2 teams, nobody else. Okay. It only should go to the Ravens or the Steelers. And really should just go to the Ravens. But it should only go to the Ravens or the Steelers. The Browns, y'all stay in the basement, okay? I deal with that in baseball because I know the American League East people say that it should either be the Yankees or the Red Sox. It shouldn't go to no other team. And they call the Orioles the annoying little brats, and now we're back in the basement. But then you look at, the Red Sox was in the basement this year. But yeah, and Mark even said it. He, Mark, I'm gonna put that on the screen, buddy. He says I had to root for the Ravens, and it was killing me. It was killing me. I mean, what an amazing game! What an amazing game. Mrs. Higgs coming in. She drops the 100 emoji. I was in the group chat with my guy Pop and the whole football crew. We all got football group chats. And man, it was just the back and forth, the talking. And we knew when Lamar Jackson came in and Pop said Willis Reed. He said Willis Reed is in the building. I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter saying Lamar didn't have cramps. He had to go to the bathroom. But who knows? Man, this was just one of those nights that, it was like when you're happy to be a fan, but you're sitting there watching like, okay, this game is going to come on TV all over again. It's going to come on TV. The question is, will I be watching it? Because it's going to go down as a classic. You knew when the score was 42-42, you said, all right, this is going to be a classic. We're going to see if I'm going to like this. 42-42. Will I like it? But yeah, and I see the final score was 47-42. I copied it, didn't even realize, the Ravens did get a safety. But at the end of the game, Big Frank 97 says Lamar looking like a superhero. I mean, when you're the MVP of the league, you're the MVP of the team, when you are the franchise player. Matt Judon said it. He said, look, I've got the franchise tag, but we know Lamar is the franchise player. Lamar is the franchise player. That's what you do. You got to make those plays. Shout out to my bro watching. He said it was definitely bubble guts. He said Lamar had the bubble guts. Now I don't know what he was eating, but yeah, he hopped in there. But man, it was scary. And shout out to Trace McSorley, right? He went out there and did what he could. And I just did not like the play calling. And I know this. I'm smart enough to realize that I play Madden and don't coach NFL talent. But some things is just you've been watching football long enough. You're like, that's not a good situation. They come out there, they throwing. Okay, they throwing. Why? When you got a running game that's working. Like, why go? It was enough time left where you could, pound the rock up the middle. And then you got a quarterback who can throw the football. We're not going to doubt Trace, but how about run the ball and let that open up for the pass? Now, he made, like I mentioned earlier, a great pass to Marquise Brown that Brown dropped. And I wondered, did Lamar see that, or was he trotting back on the field? Because he trusted Lamar in the most crucial part of the game. And, I mean, he trusted, I'm tripping. He trusted Hollywood. We'll call him Hollywood because he made a Hollywood play. He trusted Hollywood in the crucial part of the game, and Hollywood delivered. Shout out to Ashley Baker coming in from Washington. We got Fast. What's that? Fasted Deeg said, I live in Chicago. Please don't talk bad about play calling. Look, I mean, y'all got the win yesterday, right? I believe y'all picked up the win that I actually had y'all losing. So, but yeah, just watching. Look, I'm gonna just say what it is. Look, I don't work for the Ravens. I'm a fan, and I work for Hap, so I can say this: the Ravens need a new offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. Let's get some more personnel because Elliott gotta go. Look, we understand he had to come in there right now, especially when you look back at what happened with Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas rather, worry about having fun with his brother and some extracurricular activity, ladies, as opposed to, playing football. And then when he gets to football, he rather want to start fights. So look, I understand that. But look now, we got to look at it like this. It is time for the Ravens to move on with a safety. Elliott's just not the guy. I'm sorry. He got burnt. He looked lost out there. That's got to be addressed. Marlon Humphrey did his thing, but when you keep the defense on the field too long, stuff like that happens. But then you also look at Jimmy Smith. And I'm watching Jimmy Smith and I'm getting annoyed. Then he gets off the field. I'm like, the dude is talented. There's no doubt about it. But maybe it's time to move him to safety, or it's time to move on. Bottom line. But definitely Greg Roman, that offense, Steve Smith called it out last week. Steve Smith Sr., he said exactly what they was doing. So it's time for them to make changes. John Harbaugh did it before. Because of that, he got this. He got one of these. That's a Super Bowl ring. Will that time come? Will it be this year? Will it be next year? Can this team go on a run? This is the toughest task. They got Jacksonville coming up. Gardner Minshew better not come into Baltimore and have a field day. Okay? That shouldn't happen. And even if it does, Campbell and Ngakoue should turn up because they're going against their old team. So that shouldn't happen. The Jaguars, if the Ravens are not going to be that team, they didn't do it against the Cowboys, but somebody says that a Dobbins jersey or Iron Mike Ray Rice jersey. I'm not answering that. They did it against the Cowboys. I'm grateful we've had as much football this year as we have. I agree with that, but the Ravens did it against the Cowboys. They played the way they were supposed to play. They didn't do like the 2010s Ravens where they would play down to their competition. Therefore, I hope they don't play down to their competition on Sunday. They got to beat the Jaguars. They should beat them. They should beat the Giants. That would be a sweep over the NFC East. And then they'll close it out on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals. New Browns versus old Browns. Hell of a game tonight. Look, we ain't those Browns no more, okay? We are the Baltimore Ravens. The Browns, they got their team back. We didn't do like the Colts. Shout out to my friend Sassy Stephanie. I was telling her, we was going back trash talking on Twitter because I said Baker Mayfield's trash. Not a fan of his, but guess what? There's no denying he's a good quarterback. That's just trash talk. But the thing is, look, I understand Cleveland, y'all still mad. Your team left and won 2 Super Bowls. Like, man, I'd be mad too. At least with us, the Colts left, and then we won a Super Bowl before the Colts did, and then we won another one. They went to 2 and lost the second one because they couldn't stop an onside kick. But, the Ravens must get it done. I think they win out. They'll end the season 11-5, and I'm telling y'all, Ravens, Steelers, first round. JK needs to get the ball exclusively. Coming from Sass Perch Champs. If you don't, get on Haps News, download the app, Haps, download Haps from anywhere on your Android or iPhone devices, and you can go ahead and sponsor the show. Help me reach my goal of $20. 7% there. You can send out rewards. Those rewards, those coins they give you convert into cents. So go ahead, or you can sponsor the show. Just $5 a month. So, but if you don't, but I'm telling you, it's a lot of benefit that comes with downloading the Haps app. So the Ravens, they have an opportunity. I'm telling y'all, Ravens, Steelers, first round, book it. Book it right now. My friend Ashley earlier said the Browns will win the division. I think that's not going to happen now. If Steelers would have took care of business last night, they would be celebrating as division champions right now. But now I believe if they win on Sunday, I think the way the cards fall, they will be champs. Or if they lose, then they could be in some serious trouble. Lamar's a freaking beast. This is his year in the playoffs. He won't lose his first game in the playoffs. Third time is the charm. I like that. I like that positivity. Are you a Ravens fan? Let me know. I would think so. It's really hard, not gonna lie. It's really hard for me to think this team will win the Super Bowl because I see so many flaws. But it's okay. Allen Robinson in the offseason cut Ingram easily. See, Ingram is one of those players. I think it's just the Greg Roman offense, but I believe Ingram is a player who he's that heartbeat in that locker room. You know, I watched him on the sidelines, and you know, with my gig, I watched him on the sidelines get that team rallied up. And this one he wasn't playing, so yeah. But I know he's making a lot of money. I think next year is the last year's contract. I'm not sure. I got to double check. I thought he signed a 3-year contract, but I like Mark Ingram. I just don't think they. You know, I think that eventually the torch will go to Dobbins. We saw this with Ray Rice taking the torch from Willis McGahee. You know, that's just how the running back position is. But this is going to be important. But like I said, it's just a lot of flaws I see in this team right now. The defense is suspect. When you watch them, they don't look like they're a championship caliber defense. Last year, they did. They looked like they could go out there and get things done. You know, the way the offense was rolling, the defense didn't have to do much. But granted, they wasn't on the field that long because obviously, you know, the Ravens ran more yards than anybody last year. But if they get hot, they go on a run, you know, you are starting to see some of the pieces come back. The problem with them is they get gassed in the fourth quarter. That's what happened tonight. And the Browns are a team that I know the Ravens don't want to see again. Who knows? Any strange things can happen between now and the last week in December where the Browns could win the division. The Steelers could be, you know, another wild card team, and the Ravens could have to play the Browns. That's possible. But the thing is, no, it's probably not. Now think about it. But nonetheless, the Browns are a team, they can swap the running backs. You know, they can swap the running backs. So we'll see. Bro, the AFC is going to be a gauntlet in the playoffs. Who knows who's coming out? So you are saying that you're not just laying down saying the Chiefs are going to win. I like it. I think everybody, it seems like, is saying Kansas City got it. This is going to be their year. They're going to run through it again. But if you watch Kansas City, they are beatable. Yes, Patrick Mahomes have a lot of weapons. You got to keep them off the field. You know, it says, I'm a football fan, bro. Live in Chicago, but played for 9 years. Played for 9 years all my life. I'm a huge NFL fan. I don't hate rivals or teams. I respect good players and good coaches. I respect the hell of Lamar. Amazing talent, not arrogant and coachable. Exactly. That's the thing a lot of people don't realize, that Lamar Jackson is humble. He never puts himself over. He won't do it. He won't talk about himself, and he'll accept the blame. That's the kind of guy you want as your quarterback, you know. J.K. Bay says, watch out for Jalen Hurts. Jalen's going to be fun to watch. I'm really excited. Something about Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz. For some reason, they just don't get along. I don't know what it is, but some reason that just doesn't mix. They throw up a stat, and I think Doug Peterson is like 12, 13, or 14-2 without Carson Wentz. Like, Philly, what's up? I don't get it. Says, honestly, I think the Steelers and the Colts, the Colts could stop the Chiefs. If the Ravens wise up on defense, they have a chance. That's exactly. But, you know, injuries have really riddled through this team. So it's been tough to watch. Like I said, you know, me as Tom Brady will win the Super Bowl, coming from Houston flooded. Tom Brady will win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady. I see what they did. The thing is, when you look at, like I said, a lot of injuries happen here. And I said this earlier, don't put no Raven on the Madden cover anymore. Don't do it. It said, who the hell trades their Super Bowl MVP? I was never a Carson fan, though we made a huge mistake by giving up Foles. You know, Foles is one of those people. It just seems like he just does better as time moves along. Like, I mean, like when he's on the backup. I don't know what it is. My man Joe Sally coming in says they get the lead and start playing soft. Exactly. You know, that's the part that's very frustrating with the Ravens. Last year, they didn't do that, you know. I look at the Rams. This is from SAS Per Champs. I look at the Rams as the favorites, honestly. Very balanced team. Absolutely. They are. I like them. You know, I definitely think they are balanced. Let's go, Flock Nation. After all the hate they gave my quarterback, he still overperformed. That coming from Curse Bear. You know, The thing is that exactly he went out there. Lamar played his, yeah, he took he played his best. Went out there, played. He looked like MVP. I said this earlier in the year. Lamar did not look like he was having fun. He looked like he was having fun once again in that Dallas game. And tonight you saw it looked like he was having fun. So that's why I was, happy. And when the game on the line, he came in there, threw the ball to Hollywood Brown. He could have easily ran. And most people saying, when they looked at the plays, like, oh, he could have threw it to Hollywood. But if he didn't, it would have been understood considering Hollywood dropped the ball. But instead, Lamar trusted his guy. And this is why they drafted him. Because, I said this is a chemistry in the making, and it's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully, they get another receiver. They need somebody. Hollywood's got to make plays. And, he has some maturing to do. There's no doubt about it. He has some maturing to do. I think he will. Sometimes you look at his body language on the sideline. It kind of look like he in Pee Wee football sometimes. But I think once he matures, I want to see him surround himself with vets. We can't forget, y'all. We know who his first cousin is. Okay, let's not act like we're going to not address the elephant in the room. We know who his cousin is. I'd like to see him surround himself with some vets and get himself together. I'm going back to the comments here on Haps. If you're on Facebook watching, download the Haps app. I can put your comments on the screen, or if you chime in on YouTube or Twitter. I can't do it from Facebook, but the engineers, they working on that. It says, look at the Texans with Hopkins. Bill O'Brien was the effing team when he had found out. Was the team when he found out he was leaving the team. Facts. Ooh, okay. Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, Watkins, Edwards, Hilaire, and a solid defense will be enough to repeat. That coming from Oakman Strimmers. I know. I mean, that Chiefs team is scary. A fluke could happen. That's anything can happen. Like I said, there's been a different year, so who knows? It says last year was special. First half, he wasn't himself. This second half, he's starting to roll in. This is coming from Fast Deeg. He's starting to roll in, and this will continue to playoffs. He got belief. This is going to the playoffs. The Ravens could do it. Says they need a wide receiver, a number 2 receiver. Should have been in on Robbie Anderson. Lamar lost 3 family members this year. His mental state isn't all the way there. You can tell that this has affected his gameplay, especially after the first Steelers loss. It was hard to find him. This dude said Watkins. Well, Watkins is, to that point, yeah, Watkins is a threat. He still got speed. But yeah, Lamar did, and that's the thing I tell people. Like, Lamar did lose family members. I know he has been dealing with a lot, and then he gets COVID, and he's sitting at home. He's been durable. He's been playing, but it's been a lot. And I do a podcast called Breaking Through the Glass Ceilings. Check out my episode with Erica Marmolejo. She works for the Chicago Bears in player engagement, and player engagement. And she was talking about a lot of stuff that players go through. They're still human beings. When you're going through something and you got to go to your job, it's not the same. You can't easily tap in mentally. And we saw that a lot with Lamar Jackson this year. So, that's the thing. We gotta, remember, like, still a human being. So anything can happen. Anything, who knows? My friend Ashley Baker too. If you took the Browns to the Super Bowl, that's all you had to say. Was this Bleacher Report? So Lamar said, I didn't pull a Paul Pierce. This week at the podium. I didn't pull a Paul Pierce. I was cramping. And so, said Roman Reigns is the hottest act in WWE has right now. At WrestleMania, it should be him versus Goldberg. No, make it him versus Drew or Edge. No, I want to see Roman versus Big E if Big E going to get there. Check me out on the Wrestling Realm now. Search Wrestling Realm. You can see it right there. Search that on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. Should be linked to this channel as well. Says, I wonder what it took. What this D would look like if they kept Earl Thomas. See, here's the thing about Earl Thomas, right? A lot of people say that. I said it tonight. I said, man, the way Elliott was getting cooked, and I was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, maybe we should have kept Earl. But Earl was getting lost in the defense. Earl was just being Earl, and because of his name, he'd go out there and do what he wanted. Let's not forget he was making business decisions the last Cleveland game. I was right there on the field, saw it, I was working, boom. I was like, oh, yeah, Nick Chubb's ran all over him and then stiff arm. And then, Earl wouldn't go out to the tackle. Then you saw what happened with Derrick Henry did to him. So we like to think about Earl Thomas, but then we just don't know, folks, because I'm gonna say Earl wasn't that great. I mean, he was a Pro Bowl, but a lot of you wonder, was it because of his name? But the team was so good last year. They sent the most Pro Bowlers, I believe, in franchise history. So that's what's so frustrating. 14-2, but we do know the last time they won the Super Bowl, they were 10-6. So who knows? We hopefully they don't go 10-6 this year. They should finish 11-5. This is where we find out the type of team they have. We did see that they did not give up tonight. They played their hearts out. So hats off to them. Hats off to Cleveland, because Cleveland could have gave up. And I do think the game would have been a little different had the Ravens not had Lamar Jackson get hurt. I think some of the things would have been different, but they was able to adjust to that audible that happened. But who knows? No, we're not bringing Ed and Ray back. Maybe in the locker room, but Ed. It didn't seem like Ed and John got along too well. Let's be honest. It just didn't seem like he got along. Slight Edge 10. Congrats on the win. Great game. Thanks. It just didn't seem like Ed and John got along too well. It don't seem like he was a John Harbaugh guy, meaning he would be on his coaching staff. So Peter says Lamar got injured. Lamar didn't get injured. He was out for a couple series with cramps. And when he came back in the game, it was 4th and 5. And I think they had a delay game. I'm not sure, or a penalty, but it was 4th and 5. He had an opportunity to run the ball. Instead, he had a wide open lane. Instead, he found Hollywood Brown for the touchdown. So shout out to him for that, and that's where it was, that's where it really got interesting. So, but, appreciate everybody watching tonight after the Ravens pick up the victory. Yeah, he definitely got hella fantasy points. He scored the most. He scored the most points. No, he ran for the most yards in Monday Night Football history, passing Russell Wilson. So which AFC team? Oh man, it dropped. Okay. These comments. All right, which AFC team you worry about the Ravens beating in the playoffs? Which AFC team are you most worried about the Ravens beating in the playoffs? The Chiefs. The Chiefs is you gotta respect them, especially because the way they beat the Ravens this year. All the other games were winnable. The Ravens, give or take, could be 11-1, right? Let's call it for what it is. They could be 11-1. They had Pittsburgh the first time. They were up by 2 touchdowns. So, and then stuff happened. They had Pittsburgh the second time, but and on their third string. They had Tennessee. And then what's the other game? The New England game. That was another one. So they were in all of the games, and all of the games were winnable. So they could be 11-1, but being 11-1, you probably don't look at what exposes. We saw with Pittsburgh, they still came out of the gate, boom, 11-0. Now we looking at them like, well, a lot of us told you they were overrated, but they almost lost to Dallas. They almost lost to the Ravens twice. But now we starting to see, and even Ben Roethlisberger, we're not a good offense. Oh, we could have told you that. Said I'm not very good. Oh, could have told you that a long time ago, buddy. Your day's over. But who knows? Yeah, definitely penalties. Chiefs are going to run Ravens for sure. Okay, Tyreek is on a different plane. How bad was that defense? Yeah, the defense does need to tighten up. I don't know if the Ravens go out and make a move, but it's so much. Like I said, there's so many factors that we have to look at. So many things can happen. Unfortunately, COVID-19 is real. We don't know what's going to happen. That's why I hope they get this under control. Personally, I would like to see the NFL do a bubble during the playoffs. I don't think they will, but I think they should for the protection of the players. But we don't know what's going to happen. It would be nice to see Dez Bryant get back in there and play next week. The Jaguars game would be perfect for him to get things going again. Is that the Cowboys kicker? I must have missed that one. So, But I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody joining me on the show. Great time tonight, especially in the chat. You know, I appreciate y'all dropping your comments if you came in for a little bit. Shout out to my boy John Wheeler. Me and John go back to middle school, Shrine of Little Flower here in Baltimore. Appreciate you watching. Yeah, appreciate, like I said, download the Haps app. I'll be back this week talking some NFL, giving my previews for the week, and then I'm gonna take a break. Like I said on my podcast, I'm taking a break. For the podcast, I'm taking a month off. So if you're a wrestling fan, you want to join me this week, let me know, because I will be going out with a bang for the rest of the year with this final show of Break It Down with Brian H. So it's hard. It's gonna be hard to do a bowl in NFL because there are a lot more NFL players. Yeah, it definitely is. And like I said, maybe multiple bottles. I know you probably can't do that, but maybe you could do like an East or West, sort of like the MLB did. Who knows? How do I find your stream next week? I just stumbled upon this. I appreciate you stumbling upon it. On Haps or at Brian H. Waters on all social media platforms. And then if you download the Haps app, you follow me at Brian H. Waters, or actually it's Brian Waters on here, you'll be able to contact me. But I'm at Brian H. Waters on all social media platforms. Tiger Roar says game of the year, without a doubt. But we always say game of the year when there's a lot of points being scored. But I tell you, it's definitely, I'm not going to be on vacation the whole playoffs. It's just the last couple weeks. Seriously, Doubtful says, look, it's been a long few weeks, if y'all only knew. So I need to recharge. But that's mainly for breaking through glass ceilings and break it down with Brian H. Maybe not so much Haps. Haps is more free. I don't have to really, I pre-produce by throwing some video clips in here, but it's not like with Break It Down with it's not like with Break It Down with Brian H. or Breaking Through Glass Ceilings, where I really have to dig in and pre-produce, produce, post, edit, boom, boom, boom. Shout out to team and Habs. So yeah, San Francisco, Seattle was the game of the year last year. I think it was too. Do I aspire to be a TV sportscaster? The wind falls that way. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I enjoy the creative freedom. I enjoy Haps. This Haps is like where I really love to be. Been here since August, around the NBA playoffs. It says, "What is your wrestling show? Is there on? Is it here on too? It's on YouTube, The Wrestling Realm. You can see the spelling right there. Shout out to my brother, the real Dwayne Allen. But yeah, search The Wrestling Realm on YouTube, and you'll see the links. It's also on Instagram, Facebook. You can find that as well, and Twitter at Wrestling Realm. So that'll be it, folks. I appreciate y'all. And in the words of the All Elite Heavyweight Champion, the All Elite Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, goodbye and good night.